Hi everyone, my name is Mattia Maggioli and today I'm joined by Ed Bagari, who developed this integration POC between Forcepoint, CASB and Okta. This integration delivers the ability to extract the risk score from CASB for all the users monitored by CASB and to trigger changes in the authentication policies of Okta so that users whose risk score has increased will have to authenticate with a much more complex set of authentication steps, or to suspend the users whose risk score went above a given threshold that the user can configure, or simply to terminate the existing active sessions of the users into Okta, so that upon an increase of risk score, the user will have to re-authenticate through Okta, and the re-authentication will be done with the new set of policies defined for his risk score. Lo?
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we are in CASB. We have a list of users in here, and this user to have a risk score. It will go up and it will go down, is depending on the user's activity.
And also, a single user might actually have different usernames and login accounts across different solutions.
Yeah, can be the account name can be same, but the login name can be different login names.
Okay. And possibly some of those usernames want to be known to Okta.
Yeah, exactly.
So the scope of the POC is only usernames that are managed through Okta.
Yeah.
And we are picking, I guess, the highest risk score for that person, regardless of what user account. Correct. Okay.
Yeah. For this demo, I will have two users that belong to Okta, and Aaron and Penny. These two users that are registered they have an account in Okta as well. So the overall of the system, what we will do is we will create a Okta service, which automatically log into the CASB and download the CSV file and log out, and then we process the CSV file, and we have a database which record the last risk score for each user.
So this integration works both ways. If the risk score increases, there's going to be a change in the authentication policies and possibly the termination of the active session, but also the other way, which is if the risk score goes down after a while, the group membership into Okta will be changed so that the authentication steps will be less complex.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So the configuration file, what we need an talk with Okta. We need a login information to CASB. Here we define the range of risk score, and we map it that range to a specific Okta group or to a specific predefined policies, as we have in here, suspend.
Okay, so the mapping of risk scores into Okta groups is an ordinary task depending on the change of risk score, but the termination of the active session is left as an option in case the user wants also the active sessions to be terminated.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's an out-of-band command. It doesn't work with the same API used for the group membership change.
Yeah, so as I said, we have a groups in here from risk level 1 up to risk level 5, and each of these groups there are different type of policies applied to them. If I log in now to the Aaron account, it's all good, nothing. That's a default behavior, and log into the other account, and I will keep these sessions opened, and I will go and run the service. And now, as you see, the service running. It will take like up to 2 minutes until it download all the risk level and process them. Yeah, we can see now the service is finished its job, and we can see as well it will detect 2 emails, 2 accounts. That's the first account, and its risk level was 510, so the account was suspended, and the other one is risk level 345, and the membership of that user is moved to the risk level 3.
And in the settings file, the mapping between risk score and actions is left to the user, so we are not enforcing any range, especially because the risk score doesn't have an upper limit.
Yeah.
So depending on the situation of every single installation, the user can define how to map ranges of risk scores into actions that we trigger into Okta.
Exactly, yeah.
Very cool.
So now if you go back to those accounts and just try to do anything in here, we kicked out, the session is terminated. We need to log in again. So in here we've been asking multi-authentication because the risk level was pushed to 3 and it was configured to ask multi-authentication. And if you go to another account, let's do anything in here. Session is terminated. Log in. And the account now is suspended.
Okay, so in this case the account could not log in at all because the account was disabled within Okta.
Yeah.
Very cool. And all the sessions were terminated even before we went trying again to authenticate.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
the out of band command takes place in real time.
Real time, yeah.
Very good. So just a quick recap of this integration POC. This integration POC delivers the ability to change authentication policies or trigger remediation actions into Okta based on the risk score provided by CASB. The orchestration of the authentication policies is done mapping the risk score into groups of Okta, and we also can send out-of-band commands to terminate active session of the users whose risk score has increased, or totally disable the user if the risk score went past a given threshold. And all these thresholds and mappings between the risk score and the activities is left to the customer into the configuration file that we provide inside our integration package. So great job, Lo.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your work. Stay tuned for more episodes.
Thank you.